Hello and welcome. My name is David Bacon. Today's title is Jesus Wept. So let me set it up for you. In John 11, 1 through 45, we have the story where Jesus learns that Lazarus is sick, and then he travels back after Lazarus has died, and then he raises Lazarus from the dead. Right in the middle of that is the shortest verse in the Bible. Jesus wept. John 11:35. Now that has always jumped out at me. Why would Jesus cry at that point? He knew he was going to raise Lazarus from the dead, so what was there to cry about? It's not that Lazarus is dead and gone, he's coming back. But if you read a few verses on, Jesus actually says why. He says, I do this so that they may believe. The actual Aramaic there for wept is only used one time, that one place in the Bible. And it means to cry from frustration. So Jesus was frustrated that they didn't believe. Let me break it down a little further. So Jesus is at Bethany beyond Jordan. It sounds like a fictional place, but it's where Jesus was baptized. You can see in this picture here. So that's about 2 days from Bethany where Lazarus was. So first Jesus hears that Lazarus is sick. He says, no, well, let's bide, or we don't need to go right now. Then they arrive and they say that Lazarus has died. 2 days to get there, 2 days to get back. It's been 4 days now. That's pretty significant because in Jewish culture, the belief was the soul would hang around the body for 3 days in case there was something happening, be reunited, but on the 4th day it would move on. Culturally, it was also significant because after 3 days of private mourning, that's when the extended family and friends would come in and pay their respects to the group. So Jesus gets to Bethany, gets to Lazarus' town. And Mary says, if you had been here, this wouldn't have happened. Martha says, if you had been here, this wouldn't have. Even strangers say, this man who is such a great healer, surely if he had been here, this wouldn't have happened. So Jesus knew this would happen. So Jesus wept. He wept from frustration because he had to bring his friend back and have him suffer through dying again in this physical world, this fallen world, so that his disciples who had been with him for over 3 years would understand that he is actually God. That's pretty significant. Now, we don't hear from Lazarus anymore after this. If the Bible was just a collection of fictional stories, they would have gone on and finished out this particular story with what Lazarus did with the rest of his life, what happened to Mary and Martha, and no, none of that. We don't hear about Lazarus anymore because it's not the point of the story. Jesus wept. He wept from frustration. He did what he had to do so that his disciples would believe. But what's that got to do with us? It's over 2,000 years. So Jesus raised Lazarus from the dead, the disciples believed, and that's the end of it. Well, no, it's not. If you read in your Bible, you'll find in John 17:20, my prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message. And that's the message that the disciples had. The ones he raised Lazarus so they would believe. And in the famous passage where Thomas is doubting him and he appears and shows him the spear wound in his side and the nail holes in his hand, he says, John 20:29, then Jesus told him, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet have believed. That's us. So Jesus wept for us so we would believe. Thank you and blessings.